Howdy! Welcome to Faith of a Child Box videos, helping your family become saints together. Today we will be painting our peg doll of St. Lucy for her feast day coming up here on December 13th. So in order to paint her, you're going to need your female peg doll, your paint strip, your paintbrush, and from home just a little cup of water, a paper towel, and as always we suggest you cover your clothes because the acrylic paints could stain your clothes. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start with her hair, which I always like to do. And so we're going to see her hair kind of starts in the middle of her head and goes down, and then it goes down her back. And we are depicting her as with blonde hair to honor the Scandinavian traditions, which are where a lot of the traditions for St. Lucy Day come from, even though St. Lucy herself was actually from the area of Italy. So we're just kind of honoring the Scandinavian traditions, the northern European countries there. So to do her hair, and I started here without the directions, you're going to find the spot in the middle of the top of her head, kind of make yourself a mark, and then pull that line down to the bottom of her head. You can go to the other side, find your mark, and pull that line down again. And then we're going to say this is going to be the back of her head where her hair is. I'm going to pick a spot for how far I want her hair to go down. So I did about a quarter of length down her back. You might choose it a little longer, a little shorter. And I'm going to draw out the outline of her hair here. Kind of curves at the bottom edge there. Do the same thing on this side. Okay. And then we are just going to fill this whole area in with our yellow paint. Alright, so we finished her hair from that point. I am going to actually bring her hair a little further forward here in the front. Maybe she kind of has some bangs going on, or just to bring it a little farther forward than I normally do, and that will make a little more sense as we go forward here and do more of her. And I did cover some of these spots as they dried with a second layer. This yellow seems to be pretty light, so you might want to put a second layer of yellow paint for her hair here. Okay, I think that's good. The next thing we're going to paint is her skin tone. So we're going to be painting her face. We're going to use our tan color. So we're going to do her face, and we're also kind of going to do a little bit down her neckline here. So I'll start with that since her hair might still be a little bit wet. And then I will go ahead and just paint all of her face, the skin tone. Alright, now we have her skin tone all done. We are going to move on to painting her dress. And so her dress is all white to show her purity, and that and her outfit is inspired by the traditions for St. Lucy Day up in the Scandinavian countries, as I was saying. And so this is how the girl who was depicting St. Lucy would be dressed. And so that's how we are painting her. Because it always helps me remember which saint it is when she's dressed like this. Like we dress up on St. Lucy Day. And so I am going to start by painting the bottom white, just so we can write her feast day on the bottom when we're done. And then I am going to cover all of the rest of her in white. So it might take a little bit. You probably need to pause the video to cover your doll up, but let's go ahead and do that. All right, so now we've painted her whole dress white to remember her purity. And now we are going to go ahead and do the green for the wreath on her head. So we are going to look at my example here, and it's not at the top, the very top of your head. You want to leave space for the candles on the top. So you're going to bring it down a little further. Her face is going to be a little more squished than my normal pigtails, but that's just how we have to make her work. And then so I'm going to put about right there. Just a nice green line. All the way around her head. And I like to end my circles in the back, so if they don't line up perfectly, it covers it up a little bit there. It's not the side you're looking at most of the time. There we go, that one turned out pretty well. There we go. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do, work on her face a little. We're going to do her eyes and her smile. For her eyes, there's two different ways you can choose to do it. This example shows kind of a more realistic way with the whites for eyes and the black in the middle. But I don't like this look personally. Here's our Saint Saba from earlier this month. This is the way I like to do it, so I'm going to show it off this way. Either way, you do it the same way with, what's the word I'm looking for? The way you do the painting is the same. It's just which paint color you do when. That's your choice. So we're going to do ours in this style because I prefer this one. But if you want a more realistic one, this is really how people's eyes look. I just think the dolls turn out cuter with the white on the black instead of black on white. So we're going to use the back of our paintbrush. And we are going to pick where her eye is going to be. It's going to be right here. We're going to paint our circle with the back of our paintbrush. I'm going to do it again. Actually, I need a little more on that one. And there are the start of her eyes. So we're going to let those dry. And we're going to do her smile. Just the very tip of our paintbrush. You don't want to press down too hard. Just make a little curve for her smile. Oh, I didn't even need to clean that because we're going to do her red sash next. And her red sash is to remind us of her martyrdom, that she died for the faith. So again, I'm going to start in the back. Nope, I'm going to start in the front. What am I doing? We're going to start in the front. I'm going to start in the front here and just draw a thin red line around. And I'm going to go halfway around this side and go to the other side. Go about halfway around. Then I'll find the back and take each of them a little bit further around the back. Kind of start to see here if they'll line up. Not too bad this time. Okay, I'm going to make my sash a little bit thicker here in the front. Okay, and then I like the little bow that I put on here. You can put it on the back if you want to say she tied it in the back. I like it here in the front. Either way, you're going to kind of do a little oval shape. And another oval shape. And if you don't want a bow, don't put a bow. And then just two little lines coming down on diagonals here. You've got yourself a little bow. Okay, now we are done with the red. And we are going to go ahead and do her white candles. So we're gonna be drawing 4 candles on the top of her head, and I kind of did them, these two are a little bit above her eyes, kind of on the sides of her head here. And again, don't take them too far to the top because you do need space to have the candles lit, the fire on top. The flames, I guess, would be the appropriate word here. And then just trying to evenly space them out here. So four little candles here. And then while we have our white open, we're going to go ahead and finish the eyes. Again, we're going to use the back of our paintbrush. Just get a tiny bit on there this time, and just very close until it barely touches. And a tiny bit more on your paintbrush. Really close until it barely touches. Ta-da! And I think those eyes are much cuter. I like that look better. And I am gonna go ahead and give her little eyelashes. That's a detail my daughter loves when I add little eyelashes on our little female peg dolls. So she will end up with this. Well, both of these, she'll end up with them in her little play box of saints. So we're gonna add them for her since this is her favorite. There we go. I generally like to start in the middle of the side and just draw a diagonal line up, and then another one. So you find the middle and draw a diagonal line up, and then another one on top of that. Okay, the last step we have here for painting is to draw the flames. And we cannot do them just yellow because her hair is yellow, so it wouldn't show up. You can just do them red if that's the easiest way to do it. I wanted to do them orange, and since I have yellow and red, I can make orange. You can probably see the remainders from when I did my tester in this paint pot a little bit earlier. We're going to mix up the yellow and some red and see what color orange we get this time. And if we don't like it, we can always add more of one of the colors to get a color we like better. That is a pretty dark orange. I'm actually going to add a little more yellow to that. I want it a little bit lighter. Okay, we'll go with that. But you take as long as you want to get the perfect color for you. And then we're just going to take our orange. And I really just drew little lines on top of here. And maybe another line kind of going the other direction a little bit. It's kind of a line down with a tiny bit of a curve. You really don't need much paint on here at all, because there's just very fine, very small amount of space. And here's where it shows that it was so important to put your wreath so far down on her head so that you had space to light your candles. All right, and then the last thing you're going to want to do is on the bottom, write out her feast day, which is December 13th. So you can use paint, you can use a ballpoint pen. I have a Sharpie right next to me here, so we're going to do that method. And there is our St. Lucy doll. And I just want to remind y'all really fast that this is our last Peg Doll Paint Along video, which will be publicly available. From now on, our video content will be subscriber exclusive, so you have to be one of our subscribers to have access to this. And we have added a Peg Doll only option if you just want to paint our Peg Dolls along with us. And then you can check out that and our other 2 subscription options at faithofachildbox.com. And we will see you next time.